feeling the air enter and leave your body, and feeling the movement of your body with every inhale and exhale. Take about 3 more rounds of breath here. And slowly lift your head to gaze at the top of the mat. Spread all 10 fingers wide, press into your palms to lift yourself up. Round through your spine and lower your hips to the floor. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. And exhale, send the hips back towards the heels, belly drops, forehead comes down. And inhale back up, slide the hands forward, round through the spine, and lower the hips down into a cobra variation. Send the hips back and keep flowing through this movement from child's pose to cobra, opening up into the hips and the lower back. With your next breath, press yourself up through tabletop pose. Tuck your toes under, send your hips back towards your heels. Reach your arms forward, fingertips reaching for the top of the mat, and lower your chest down towards your thighs, getting a stretch in the toes. Lift your gaze and walk your hands towards the left. Place your right hand on top of your left and breathe into your right side body. Now peel your heart open towards the sky. Inhale to reach that arm up and over and begin to find circles in the right shoulder, bringing the arm down, forward, up, and around. Find 4 more big circles just like that. And then switch directions of your circles, moving the opposite way. And place your right hand down, walk your hands all the way over to the right side. Left hand rests on top as you breathe into the left side body. Keep pressing your hips back towards your heels. 1 more breath. And peel your heart open towards the sky, bringing your left bicep towards your ear, and then drawing your left arm back, down, around, and forward. 4 more circles. And then switch directions of your circles. If at any point your toes begin to feel tired, feel free to untuck the toes and just come back into a seat. Take 1 more breath. Awesome job. Release your left hand down. Come back to sit on the toes, bringing your shoulders stacked over your hips. We'll move through a few seated cat-cows. Bring your hands to your heels. Inhale to open the heart, lift the gaze, And then exhale to round forward, bring your chin to your chest. Inhale to open the heart. And exhale, round forward. Take about 2 to 3 more rounds here, warming up through the spine, moving with your breath. And release your hands down. Come back through tabletop pose, untuck the toes, and tap the tops of your feet against the floor. Keep the toes untucked, send your hips back towards your heels. Place your hands behind you, lean your weight back, and lift your knees and your shins off of the ground, getting a stretch along the tops of the feet. Release your knees and your shins down. Plant your hands in front of you, come through tabletop. Tuck your toes under and lift your knees a few inches off of the ground. Engaging your core and pressing down through the palms. Inhale to lift the hips, straighten the legs, downward dog. Relax your head in between your arms, spread all 10 fingers wide. We'll begin to pedal out through the feet, so bend your left knee, straighten the right leg, and then bend the right knee and straighten the left leg. Continue to alternate between your feet here, bending one knee at a time and stretching out through the backs of the legs. Find stillness, pressing down through both heels of the feet. Take one more breath. Roll forward into a high plank, shoulders stacked over the wrists, core engaged, belly pulling up towards the spine. And then lift your hips, send your heels back, walk your hands back towards your feet. Come into a forward fold at the back of the mat. And then walk your hands back out through downward dog, all the way to your high plank. The core stays engaged the whole time. We'll do that 2 more times. Walk your hands back towards your feet, hips lift high, coming into a forward fold. Pause here. And then walk your hands back out into your plank. Moving through this once more, walking your hands back. Pausing in your forward fold. And then walk your hands slowly back out, moving through your downward dog all the way to your high plank. Hold your plank for a breath. And release your knees to the floor and lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale for a baby cobra. Lift your heart and gaze over your right shoulder. Exhale, lower down through center, forehead comes down to the ground. Inhale back up into your baby cobra, gaze over your left shoulder. And exhale, release down. Once more on each side. Inhale, lift the gaze over the right shoulder. Exhale. Inhale. Gaze over the left shoulder. And exhale. Bring your hands a few inches lower towards the upper ribs. Press down into the palms and lift yourself up for upward facing dog. Roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Press down through the heels of the feet. Relax the head. Root down through the left foot and lift lift your right leg for three-legged dog. Begin to roll out the right ankle, moving your foot in one direction and then the other. Bend your right knee and stack your right hip over your left hip. Keep your chest square towards the ground. One more breath. Square off the hips, straighten the right leg, three-legged dog. And step your right foot forward to the outside of the right hand, lizard pose. Drop your back knee down, untuck your toes, and lift your gaze. Take one full breath here, continuing to press the hips down. And then as you exhale, send your hips back, straighten out through the right leg, coming into a half splits variation. Inhale back into your lizard, bend into your front knee. And exhale, sink the hips back, straighten the right leg. Good, inhale, come back through your lizard pose, lift your gaze. And one last time, exhale, half split. Come back into your lizard pose, press your hips down, and bring your right hand to the base of your skull, pointing your elbow up towards the sky. Twist to the right. Inhale to gaze up towards the sky. And as you exhale, lower your right elbow down to the floor, inside of the right foot. Inhale to lift your elbow back up. And exhale, tap your elbow to the floor. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale. And exhale, release your right hand down. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee. Come up into a runner's lunge and shift your weight back and forth. Now lift your hips, straighten your front leg, coming into pyramid pose. Come back through lizard, drop your back knee down, lift your gaze. Tuck your back toes under, lift your hips, fold over your right leg, and lower back into lizard, open your heart. One last time, inhale and exhale, pyramid pose. Hold for a breath, and then come back into your runner's lunge. Turn to face the long ways of your mat, lift your hips and walk your hands all the way back to the back of the mat. Step back into plank, downward facing dog. Come back to your breath. Left leg will lift as you root down through the right heel. Begin to roll your left heel around, pointing and flexing your foot, and then moving the opposite way. Come into scorpion down dog, bend your left knee, bringing your left hip stacked over your right. Square off your hips, straighten the left leg, and step your left foot forward to the outside of your left hand. Come down into your lizard pose. Feel the deep stretch in your left hip. Hold here for one more breath. And moving into our mobility flow, as you exhale, send your hips back, straighten out through the left leg. Inhale back into your lizard. And exhale, shift your weight back. Inhale, lift your gaze. exhale, fold forward. Inhale to come back through your lizard pose. Keep your right hand down and bring your left hand to the base of your skull. Point your elbow up towards the sky. Inhale, twist to the left. And then exhale, lower your left elbow down. Inhale to lift, twist, and exhale, tap your elbow down. Inhale, open the heart, and exhale, tap. Inhale, and exhale, release your left hand down inside of your left foot. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee, and shift your weight back and forth. Finding some mobility in your runner's lunge. Continue to breathe. And lift your hips, pyramid pose, straighten the left leg. As you exhale, sink your hips down, come back through lizard, open the heart. Lift your hips, exhale, fold. Bend into your front knee, lizard pose. One last time, lift the hips and fold, pyramid. Lower into a runner's lunge, press your hips down, back knee stays lifted. And lift your hips, turn to face a long ways of your mat. Walking your hands all the way to the top of the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths here. Regrounding into your physical body. Gaze at the top of the mat and step 1 foot forward. Turn to face the long ways of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up to stand. Bring your toes out, heels in. Come into a goddess squat. Sink the hips down, bend into the knees. And begin to shift your weight from one leg to the other. Rooting down firmly through the feet so you can find more freedom in the hips. Take 2 more breaths. Come all the way up to stand, reach your arms up, palms touch. And as you exhale, bring your left arm across your body. Place your left palm along the right side and lean towards the left. Right arm reaches up and over. Inhale back through center, palms touch overhead. Exhale, right arm comes across, placing your hand to the side as you side bend to the right. Inhale to lift yourself up. Interlace your fingers behind your back, bringing your hands into a fist. Press your hands down towards the ground. Bring your feet parallel to each other. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Relax the crown of your head towards the floor. Continue to reach your fist up overhead, squeezing the shoulder blades together. 1 more breath. Release your fingertips to the floor. Inhale to halfway lift, flatten your back. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to lift, come into a side lunge. Bend into your right knee and walk your hands towards your right foot. Lift your left toes up, rolling onto the left heel. Continue to press your hips down, breathing into the inner left thigh. Walk your hands forward, one more breath. And as you inhale, lift your hips up. Walk your hands through center all the way to the left, bending into the left knee and coming onto the right heel. Take one more breath. As you inhale, lift your hips up. Come all the way back to the other side. Bending into your right knee. And if you'd like to challenge yourself, bring hands to heart center. Inhale to lift the hips and exhale, bend into your left knee. Inhale, lift the hips. Bend one last time into the right knee. And then lift your hips, come back through center. Plant your hands down, heel toe your feet in. And then sink your hips down to come into Malasana Yoga Squat. Bring hands to heart center and gently press the elbows against the inner knees. Lift your hips up a few inches. Keep the core slightly engaged, spine tall. Close your eyes. And then release your sit bones all the way down to the floor. Come into butterfly pose. Bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees fall out wide. Bring your hands to your ankles and then begin to gently flutter the legs up and down. Continue to lengthen through your spine. Find stillness. Press down through your sit bones. And as you exhale, fold forward. Completely relax your upper body and breathe into your hips. As you inhale, lift yourself all the way back up. Cross your legs and come into a comfortable seat. Begin to roll out your head, keeping the shoulders and the arms relaxed. Switch directions of your circles if needed, continuing to find smooth, even breaths. Bring your head back to center and close your eyes. Take a big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and exhale the breath out. Take another deep breath in. Open the mouth, release and let it go. Take this moment to notice how you feel.